In 1930, American astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto. A complex and mysterious world with mountains, valleys, craters and glaciers way far out beyond the orbit of Neptune. From the beginning, Pluto was weird. It was really small and had a really elongated elliptical orbit. Sometimes it was closer to the Sun than Neptune, and sometimes it wasn't. It had a moon, Charon, that was almost as big as it was. Its orbit was on a really weird angle, not lining up with the other planets.
Pluto's orbit crosses that of another planet. That's no kind of behavior for a planet.
In 2006, the International Astronomical Union (IAU), an organization of professional astronomers, passed two resolutions that collectively revoked Pluto's planetary status. This decision was controversial.
Pluto had it coming from the beginning.
Now, it's been over a decade since Pluto was downgraded to a dwarf planet, but that doesn't make it any less fascinating. So let's visit this distant world and see what a day on Pluto would look like.
We had no idea that Pluto was so complex.
What a truly magical world.
Everywhere we looked, it looked different. And that shook us to the core.
Pluto, it seemed, was alive.
Pluto is active today. That's the hint.
When Pluto was stripped of its planetary status, it caused a stir in both the scientific community and the general public. Despite it being the farthest from the Earth, people have connected with this tiny world more than any other celestial body. And in 2015, when the New Horizons spacecraft did a flyby of Pluto, we finally saw its heart-shaped region, which felt like Pluto was sending love to us. Pluto is only 2,300 kilometers wide, making it smaller than the Earth's moon. In fact, at that size, Pluto is only about half the width of the United States. Pluto is roughly 39 astronomical units away among more than 2,000 bodies in the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is a stellar disk containing ice, rock and other cosmic bodies situated nearly 30 to 50 astronomical units away from the Sun. By the way, 1 astronomical unit is the distance from the Sun to Earth. From this distance, it takes sunlight 5.5 hours to travel from Sun to Pluto. Today, Pluto is known as the King of the Kuiper Belt, as it is the largest object in that region. In the late 19th century, astronomers discovered Neptune by studying the unusual orbit of Uranus. Further observations of Neptune led astronomers to speculate that Uranus's orbit was being disturbed by another planet besides Neptune, and it was initially named Planet X. Later in 1930, Pluto was discovered and assigned the 9th position in the solar family. But during the 1990s, many other objects were being discovered around the same region, and a debate started on it if Pluto can be considered a planet after all. Eventually in 2006, the IAU decided to drop Pluto as a planet and reassigned it as a dwarf planet. See, to be a planet, you have to satisfy 3 criteria. 1. You must orbit the Sun. 2. You must be large enough so that your own gravity makes you round. And 3. You must clear your orbit of any other junk. There should be nothing of comparable size except its natural satellites. In other words, you must dominate the region of your orbit. Pluto definitely fits criteria 1 and 2, but definition 3 was added to specifically remove Pluto from the planet list. Since there are so many objects in the vicinity of Pluto's orbit, it got disqualified. Pluto contains a silicate core in the center and a large body of liquid water ocean in the mantle layer surrounded by an icy crust. The surface of Pluto is covered with a basin of frozen nitrogen and carbon monoxide. These basins took different shapes, such as the famous heart-like region known as Tombaugh Regio and a whale-shaped region known as Tulu Macula. The sky is particularly blue in Pluto, and the scenery is maintained with icy mountains. Pluto also has occasional snowfalls. Experiencing this on Pluto will be truly breathtaking. A day on Pluto is 6.4 Earth days long, so we'll have enough time to explore it. But it is so far away from our home, nearly 5.28 billion kilometers away, that it will take about 5 hours for just one-way communication. Pluto takes 248 Earth years to complete one revolution around the Sun. So if you lived on Pluto, you'd have to live for 248 Earth years to celebrate your next birthday in Pluto years. The gravity on Pluto's surface is just 0.06 times that on Earth. So if you weigh 100 kilograms back on Earth, you would weigh only 6 kilograms here on Pluto. There's one more problem with Pluto, by the way.
Because Pluto receives so little sunlight, its surface is bone-chillingly cold.
Could there be life on Pluto? I don't think so.
The atmospheric pressure is very small, only 1 pascal. Such a thin atmosphere cannot protect us from radiation. That being said, there is something mysterious happening on the surface of Pluto. Pluto is so small that it barely has the gravity necessary to hold on to its atmosphere. As a result, Pluto is constantly losing hundreds of tons of its primarily nitrogen atmosphere as it loops around the Sun. With this in mind, you might wonder why Pluto hasn't run out of nitrogen yet. Scientists wonder the same thing.
It is really bizarre.
Pluto's atmosphere has 10,000 times lower pressure than Earth's at the surface, and hundreds of tons of nitrogen are escaping every hour. Nevertheless, the atmosphere remains 98% nitrogen. Researchers are investigating potential sources of nitrogen, whether it's riding in on comets or flying from impact craters. Their best guess is that some sort of hidden geological process must be creating all the spare nitrogen, but the exact nature of that process still remains a mystery. Astronomy is so interesting, isn't it? With Rocketeers, it can be fun too. Rocketeers make high-quality, solid-fuel-powered model rocket kits that you can launch up to the height of 800 feet. They are the first and only startup who are working on model rocketry in India with solid fuel power. While doing this, they've engaged more than 250,000 students and have flown more than 150,000 rockets so far. They have also partnered with ISRO and created awesome merchandise to raise awareness about the works of ISRO. You can order these rocket kits and ISRO merchandise from their website rocketeers.in. Use the coupon code RWOS for an exclusive 15% off on all products. Link is in the description below. Now let's get back to Pluto. The temperature on Pluto is very cold as it is farthest from the Sun. The average temperature on Pluto is minus 230 degrees Celsius, with the highest temperature reaching minus 220 degrees Celsius. Well, not a big difference. Sun appears only as a tiny dot in Pluto's sky, thus it will forever be cold and snowy. But gladly, it is not lonely. Pluto has 5 moons, Charon being the closest and the largest. Apart from Charon, the other 4 moons, Styx, Nix, Kerberos and Hydra are visible too. The sky on Pluto will definitely be worth watching. The surface of Pluto is extremely cold, so it seems unlikely that any life could exist there. At such cold temperatures, water, which is vital for life as we know it, is essentially rock-like. However, Pluto's interior is warmer, and some astronomers think that there could be a liquid water ocean deep inside, potentially harboring life. Overall, Pluto is a silent, cold and deserted place where there is nothing volatile apart from a few volcanic events. It is extremely cold with no protection from radiation and has very low gravity. But it does have breathtaking views and beautiful scenery. Pluto is supposed to be formed from the residual of a protoplanetary disk of the Sun, so Pluto can provide a good opportunity to study the origin of solar systems. Spending a day on Pluto will be an interesting adventure. Pluto is far, far away, but waiting for us with lots of love. Thanks for tuning in to Rocketeers. Be sure to come back for more great information about the wonders of space. Want to learn physics through model rockets? Then check out Rocketeers.in. From DIY rocket kits to launch equipments and everything in between, we've got it all covered.